Sound is more than just something you listen to or you're entertained by. You start to use sound as a tool to consciously re-engineer your own state of being. Did you know that there's a branch of psychology called psychoacoustics? Not many people know about it, but it's actually the study of sound and how it impacts the brain or the mind. There's a guy who's been like a pioneer in this field. He's a sound healer, he's a musician, he's been doing it for a while, probably before most of the people that are trending as sound healers today were even born. So he's been around. His name's Tom Kenyon. And what his philosophy is, like at the basis of it, is that sound is not just a tool for relaxation, that sound is actually an informational carrier wave. What does that mean? In that it actually has information embedded on it that goes directly into the nervous system. So when it's used right, there's techniques that you got to understand that when you use them right, it literally changes the way your brain fires. And this is not metaphoric, it's measurable. There's EEGs, there's science out there, and he's been doing studies for years that have shown that the vibrations, the frequencies that he's channeling are actually creating shifts in the brain. It's powerful stuff. So I really want to break it down for you today in simple terms and give you like a 2-minute experience where you can feel firsthand how sound can shift your brainwave state. Let's do it. Most of us are conditioned to look at sound as entertainment or performance. It's something that we receive. You enjoy music, you enjoy a nice sound bath, or you relax into a nice gong session, or if you really go out on the fringe there, you're hanging out with somebody channeling light language at you, right? Not to knock any of this, it's all powerful, and sound is imbued in our everyday life. I remember being in South America, and my teacher was saying, as we're driving through these little villages, after the walls go up in the homes that they're building, the first thing to go in there is the speakers and the sound system, right? Because it's so important. It's such part of the culture, the dancing, the celebrating, the music. You see it in our modern world as well. You get on a lift and there's music playing there. It might not be good music, but it's there in the shops everywhere. They do studies that show the best type of music to have in this shop to keep people in the store so they keep buying stuff. The same with casinos. It's kind of a negative connotation as to how sound impacts the mind, but it's there and we know it. And it's something that has always been there, but we often look at it as that, as like we're receiving it, and that we don't even realize that there's a whole nother aspect to sound that goes well beyond just listening to it. Okay. And what I've discovered over the last 15, 20 years of working with sound and going deep into some of the advanced psychoacoustic research, similar to what Tom was working on, is that sound is not just something you hear. It's not just something you listen to, right? That sound is literally the foundational component of consciousness, and that all the reality that we're sitting in here is literally a expression of consciousness through sound, I guess is the best way you can say it. So it's not a surprise that it can literally reorganize the thought patterns of your brain, right? I mean, this gong, you get this gong humming and there's no thoughts that you can have. It just clears your mind. It's a beautiful thing. But once you start to understand that sound is more than just something you listen to or you're entertained by, then everything changes. The whole game of sound healing changes, if it was a game, right? Is that you start to use sound as more than just something that happens to you, and you use it as a tool to consciously re-engineer your own state of being. And that's what this is about today, is I want to give you techniques to help you consciously re-engineer your own state of being. So let's start first with Tom. Tom Kenyon, he's a researcher, he's a sound healer, he's a musician, he's a psychoacoustic pioneer. He spent decades studying how acoustics can affect the human nervous system and the brain and all that stuff. One of his books is called Hathor Material, and this is a phenomenal book. You can see I've got it all bent up and it's all got notes and stuff all through here, because this is one of my go-tos. This is my Bible on how to work with sound in a healing way, and there's so many techniques in there. It's an amazing book, and he merges ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience. And I was lucky enough to be able to work with Tom. It was kind of like the foundation of my work. I was working with sound before, but he gave me a whole wealth of resources to understand what was actually evolving through my work. So I still use a lot of it today. What sparked it was a friend was listening to the work that I did before I knew who Tom was, and she says, "You're channeling the Hathor." So that's a little Hathor right there. I'm like, what the heck is a Hathor? And she was the one that inspired me or put me on to Tom, and things just lined up, so I was able to work with him, which is beautiful. The basis of his work, right, the core principle is that sound is this informational carrier wave. And what that means is that sound doesn't just create a pleasant feeling or a relaxation response in your body. When you use it intentionally with specific harmonics and configurations, attention, intention, awareness, then it actually carries information directly into the nervous system, brain being a part of the nervous system. So think of it like this. Your brain operates at different frequencies. So you have what are called brainwave states. When you're very active, you're engaged, you're in analytical mode, you're in the state called beta. So there's a measurable frequency that they've dubbed beta that your brainwave functions at, or your brainwaves are moving at. And then as you start to relax, you go into what's called alpha. Right? Maybe some of you have heard of this. And that's the calm state. And then you can go even deeper into a creative flow state, or the theta state. And just under that, you got the delta state. So there's all these different frequencies that the brain resonates at that then dictate how you are perceiving the world. And the extraordinary thing about sound is that specific acoustic intervals and specific harmonic relationships, then the different tones, can actually entrain your brain to shift between these states. So how powerful is that, right? And it's not gradual, it's quickly, sometimes in less than 2 minutes. They've shown that the studies have just, boom, moved people into these different states, from a stressed response, from a fear response, into a relaxed meditative response. And it's totally measurable. You know about EEGs, they can literally measure the brain waves and see what specific harmonics are impacting the brain in what way. So you're watching it in real time. And the part that really blows my mind is I've seen it with thousands of people through my retreats, is that you don't need a complex device or like all this scientific equipment or gear to like track your brainwave states and get the right frequencies and have a tone generator and all these different things. Is that you have the tools, all the tools within you. It's right here, it's your voice. And that when we work together in community and harmonize together, not with just our voices, with our hearts, there's vibration there, there's frequency there, with our minds, the intentionality, we bring all that together and we create these sustained tones, not just a single frequency. It's like your voice is actually creating dozens of harmonics, and those overtones then are stacked to create this like chord of frequency that then creates this rich tapestry of a living vibration. Like it's coming straight from you and it's right in you, that your vocal anatomy creates, that then shifts your state of being. And we can move our mouth and change it, and that tone then changes the harmonics and different vowel shapes from O to E to Ah, like all those different things, just little subtle shifts in the mouth, how you put the tongue, this kind of thing, start to create different patterns that create different acoustic intervals that your brain responds to and your nervous system reacts to. It's like you're surfing the wavelengths of consciousness through your voice. It's a powerful thing. You can tell I'm pretty passionate about it, right? So what you're doing is you're basically using your voice as a bioacoustical engineering tool to shift your own consciousness. And, you know, like I always say, we can talk about it, I can explain it to you, I can try and convince you that this is happening, but you're not going to believe it until you start to experience it yourself. So I reckon we should dive into a process together and just explore this, explore the voice, and just see if we can make this neural shift happen. That's what we'll call this process, the vocal neural shift. Yeah, easy for me to say, vocal neural shift. All right, so the way it's going to go is we're just going to move through different vowel sounds on a single exhale, and those combinations are going to create a response in your brainwave to go from that beta state down into, hopefully, to a theta state. But just notice what happens. I'll start with an O, so just to make you mouth like an O, open. Ooh. And then we'll move into an E. Yee. So from the O. And then should we finish with an Ah, I reckon? Let's finish with an Ah. So it's an O, an E to an Ah, right? So I'll show you what it sounds like just so you know where you're going. It's in one breath. Oh, yeah. Now we do an R and A. You decide. It's just allowing your mouth to move, and it's fascinating to experience the vibrations through the body. So you want to do this slow. You want to really get clear or be aware of the vibration, the buzzing in the body, in your sinuses. It vibrates the skull, it vibrates the sinuses, it vibrates your soft palate. Like all these things are part of your voice, your chest, your lungs, the diaphragm. Even let it come all the way down into the belly, yeah? And your eyes might just vibrate too. So we'll do it with our eyes closed, and we'll do it a few times just to see where it goes. O, E, I like the Ah. Let's do the Ah. O, E, Ah. Let's do that. Ah, for a bit of relief, yeah? All right, so notice the shift. So let's do it together. Let your eyes softly close. If it helps to put your hands on your body somewhere so you can start to feel the vibration, do that. And we're going to change these brainwave states. So just notice where you're at now, and then we'll check in and see where we're at when we finish. So deep breath in. Let go. Softly for surrender. And just be present with the sensations. Feel what you need to feel. Slow breaths. Just notice a difference from like a minute or so ago to now. You might feel the mind a bit quieter. You might feel like you've softened into your body. Your shoulders may have relaxed. You might feel less stressed, more present. Just pay attention, just notice. What has shifted? Clearly something shifted. And that's not imagination. That's the brainwave shift. That's your voice doing what it's always been capable of. And that's the beautiful thing. It's available to you every single day. Before a meeting, before a conference, before a difficult conversation, before you need to think clearly. Your own voice, right here, it's available. You just got to take the time. It's the most sophisticated consciousness engineering tool on the planet, hands down. They've not created anything more aligned with you and your experience than your own voice is to you. Okay? And you had it your whole life, right? So sound is this amazing evolutionary technology. It's your voice. It's right here. Yeah? So, what was that, 2 minutes? It was probably less than 2 minutes, those rounds of toning. You can go back, you can add to it if you want, but just know that this is just a glimpse of it. It's just a taste of what's possible. And if you continue to work with it consistently, intentionally, with awareness, with your heart, sound is like a consciousness. Sound is consciousness. I've said that already, but it has its own kind of presence in that as you start to explore it, it will inform you how to work with it. It's an amazing thing. I've witnessed it many times. It can neurologically rewire your brain and create a new baseline of safety, of security, of peace. And that will open you up to a deeper sense of community, connection, a deeper way to relate to others. There's so much that's going on. And we like to create opportunities here to allow you to explore that deeper. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Comment below. How was that for you? Did you feel your brainwave shift, or you're like, oh, that was just monkey business? Like, tell me. I want to know. I can give you more tools if you want to take it deeper, but just keep engaged here, stay connected, and keep tuning your own frequency. Much love. We'll see you soon.